guys. So check this out. I wanted to let you know what I'm up to. So it's like a second week already that building my own brand, my own pet brand and luxury pet brand. And I wanted to tell you like what I'm up to. So this way you could kind of quickly understand what to focus on and see if you could replicate the same kind of style of building your brand the same way I'm building it. So obviously, guys, you already know I have a talent agency, Freedom Fusion System, where we help moms over 40 learn how to build physical and digital products and take them to the market and earn extra income. And of course, there's many variations in doing so. You could take a path where you just kind of become a UGC affiliate and create content for other brands and basically get commission in between, or you could become your own brand owner. And there's multiple paths of becoming the brand owner. Specifically, those paths include starting out with just kind of ordering some parts from China for some products and just listing them on across socials. If you take the path, you're going to have resistance if you were to just kind of a label on a product and don't do anything extra. Don't introduce any bundles or upsells or any other layers of differentiation. Then, of course, it's going to be difficult for you to compete once you start creating content, especially if you start hiring UGC creators, because they'll look at it as whatever the product that you're trying to promote as the same product that is seen anywhere else, and you're going to have extra friction. Now, that doesn't mean that you still can't proceed. But here's what I discovered upon kind of going through all those hurdles and trying to figure out which product makes total sense, which product has this instant factor that has to resonate with pets, cats, and dogs. And so I found the product and I started digging deeper into this product. And I'm like, I bet, I found a brush that is like a very good brush. It has a mist factor. You could spray some mist from the brush onto the pad, and the pad is going to be like, super chill, and the brush helps remove hair, that kind of stuff. So guys, thank you for joining. I'm quickly describing my week 2 of building my pet brand, luxury pet brand, and giving you guys some steps that I'm following, and I figured I'd just take you with me on the journey and explain how that's done. So check this out. So once I found that brush, I immediately thought about like, okay, what kind of brush is it? I started doing a deep level research analysis and just kind of checked around to see, who's selling the brush. I quickly came to realization that indeed there is a way for you to kind of find that product, and that is indeed not super competitive, not super saturated, and indeed you'll have some chances of making sales. But as I kept digging further into competitive analysis, guys, it was absolutely crazy. My brain got so cooked just like literally trying to find those differentiation factors for the product. And as I kept looking for those differentiation factors, I was being pulled in multiple directions. I was being pulled in the direction of like engineering the product to make it a bit more versatile and unique. I was getting pulled in a direction of introducing accessories for the product. I was getting pulled into the direction of like what is the most optimal supply chain to get those products delivered. And I kept getting pushed in multiple directions as I was going through this research. So this is the second week of building my own luxury pet brand, and I figured I'd just take you guys with me and explain all the complexities I discovered upon building it. And so this way you kind of foreshadow me and then see if you wanted to build something yourself. So effectively, guys, the best way I could describe this is, like when you start researching the product, you're going to come across, for example, like Temu website where everything is just straight up super dirt cheap that you could get. And immediately when you look at the product, whatever it is that you're trying to sell, guys, when you start comparing the price and you, like the first thought in your mind is like, let me find some competitors, see how much they're selling the product for. So I did that, but I did that kind of throughout the first 2 weeks, like randomly, not really with a hyper focus on like, okay, how much is it really? Why? Because when you start doing research, your goal constantly shifts and changes depending on what kind of what kind of reviews you discover about the product. And for example, just to kind of give you an idea, I discovered upon analyzing this product, this brush, I was like, I bet, let me go ahead and see how I could differentiate myself from everybody else and make the product better. So this way I'm not gonna have like, struggle. This way I'm not gonna be struggling with UGC creators and telling them, oh yeah, you know what, advertise my brush, it's gonna be fire. Well, like I looked at the products and I'm like, damn, all those other products are fairly cheap. They're all cheap like everywhere. Like in Temu is $5 only. And then I looked at everything that whatever it is that I was trying to do before. I just looked at the price and I was like, man, my price doesn't make any sense. I would be producing product for like $15 total and selling it for $49, $50, $75. That kind of doesn't make any sense because the same product people can buy for like $5 on Temu. So so I had to immediately like reverse my direction. And as I'm sitting there like totally being so cooked, just trying to figure out how to build my luxury pet brand, I keep going back and forth. I keep going back and forth between like, okay, how do I make the product different? How do I make this completely unique and not to the level that I'm just gonna lose my shirt and like not and take too much risk. No, but to the level of introducing small, micro, tiny differentiations in the product. So this way I'm not taking any major risk. So I kept kind of going back and forth with ChatGPT saying, look, I'm a little bit torn between what kind of accessories I should add to make my product different. And I'm also a little bit torn apart in thinking for what kind of design modification I can introduce into the product itself. So what's happening, guys, like once you start, whatever you think, whatever the criteria that you get in the beginning, when you start thinking whatever it is you thought was correct, this whole concept starts shifting rapidly. And the problem with that, what I discovered is you fall into this circumstance of infinite thoughts where you just kind of like, okay, I'm gonna make this product better, but then you're gonna be like, okay, you know what, maybe I shouldn't do a brush, maybe I should introduce a leash for the dogs and add some LED light in there and that kind of stuff. Of course, you're doing that based on data, based on whatever it is that you see and based on reviews and what the people are talking about. But you constantly, what's happening is like in the first 2 weeks, because you like, the thing is, if you are not doing this from start to finish, guys, you're going to discover some concept and you just may literally end up like sinking insane amount of time in that concept, thinking that this is the secret. Like for example, when you start creating your own funnel or the page, you start overthinking this and you'll be like, oh, should I do that on Shopify? Should I do that on Go High Level? Should I have my own site? Should I do it on Amazon? Where should I start from? You like overthink this stuff too much, and then you end up just kind of spending insane amount of time on that. And then when you figure this out, you're like, I'm ready to move on to the next thing. And when you start looking at the next thing, you'll be like, well, I kind of reviewed all of those concepts of factories, China, suppliers, and how not to get scammed. But when it comes down to an actual product build out and execution, out of a sudden you start discovering that whatever it is that you discovered earlier from the factory that you found, it turns out that those same factories are just selling the same thing selling the same thing on Temu for like dirt cheap. And immediately I was like, man, I went back to ChatGPT and I'm like, how the heck am I going to make any money if there's those factories directly selling stuff through Temu for like a fraction of a dollar, or like whatever the price that I'm trying to sell. And ChatGPT was like, I bet, let me go ahead. Oh, hello guys. Hello guys. Thank you for jumping in. And we got the developer over here. Speaking of developer, thank you guys for joining and hitting some likes. Developer is a very inspired 17 years old side hustler who is ready to take his journey to the next level and create a game about Freedom Fusion System and journey and adventures of Rome Wells and building feudal kingdoms and how he's helping moms over 40 build their businesses. And what he's building is an innovative game that includes the concept of marketing directly inside of the game to make moms easily understand how to make money in real world. And what he's doing, he's gradually analyzing all of those business models that I'm introducing, and he's wrapping those models around inside of that video game. I hope this makes sense, guys. So in simple words, what we decided for him to do is to take a bunch of characters where you start off. He started out with like a 2D game where he shows a bunch of characters like mom over 40 and their kids. Like you could pick a role, either a son or a daughter or a cat or a dog when you start playing. And as those characters kind of shift through the game, they end up building their own business and work together and making money while having fun. So that's kind of that's what the game is all around. And what he's getting is that scenario. The scenario is really difficult to get, guys, because in many cases, when you try to sell a video game or anything like this, in modern world, you're just not going to make any money on that. Even if you list it on Steam or like do any of that, you're just not going to make any money, period, unless you have a very good scenario and you have content that is already created. And what he's doing, he's like finding some of the videos of my cats and dogs and like all those fire videos and including them directly into the marketing kind of into the game itself. So this way people get to see right away what each of our products does. So in a way, he's intertangling products directly, like ThreadStack, Freedom Fusion System, which is my talent agency, Freedom Fusion System CRM. He's basically like including those videos inside of the video game, like actual rendered videos, so people can, like, as you play the video game, you get to see right away like what each service is all about. And the way he would be making money after the game is finished, he would be having those affiliate links for pointing to his page on our site, Freedom Fusion System, dedicated sales page for him, where he'll be getting commission from any time when somebody, let's say buys ThreadStack digital power bundle. So that's how it works, guys. And what he's doing, he's learning actually simultaneously the concept of marketing and the concept, and as he loves to do game development, just like my nephew. He likes to do game development, but he decided to just do trading. Now he is just spawning insane amount of money with trades. What I do is invest sometimes into my nephew and just give a couple of $1,000 because I already know what he does is like makes insane amount of money. And you guys could do it too, but you don't really need to give him any money. You just mimic whatever the trades he takes. You'll be very profitable, extremely profitable, guys. So, and of course, what I do as part of doing everything whatever it is I'm doing, guys, I'm giving you strategies inside of this kind of a live. I'm giving you guys strategies for what you could do in the middle of the year, like towards the end of the year, for your taxes or any other vehicles, money-making vehicles. So this way you could execute things from well-rounded perspective. Execute any types of either money-making strategy or tax-saving strategy. And that's why a lot of moms over 40, when they see that content, they'll be like, oh my God, I literally was just by watching Rome Wells found a way for how to find $10,000. And things like that you're going to only find in this channel, because what I do is I squeeze that into my lives. So for example, right now I'm talking to you about product development, building a luxury brand, and what's happening on the background. And simultaneously, remember guys, I told you about the whole concept of the next wave of creators are going to be the creators that will involve their audiences into the process. Those are the creators who understand the margins, who can build brands and create content. Remember I told you guys about that? And that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm showing to you guys for how to be the next wave of creators and do that together with your audience. And that's exactly like an example of gaming developer. He's only 17. He was inspired by this, and he wants to build his game, and he wants to be recognized in this game, and he doesn't have to worry about like, oh, where am I going to get the content of fire looking cats, pets and dogs and services and products and descriptions in a way where everything is cohesive and connected with moms over 40. He no longer has to worry about that because he found a channel where we build money together. And this is an example of what I mean when of how important it is, guys, to have a niche. Because if you have a niche and you have this explains why I kind of have multiple religions, guys. So, yeah, and in regards to, yeah, so here's what I guess what I'm trying to say, guys, is the next wave of creators are going to be the creators who know how to build brands and how to understand All right, guys, I'm back, and I'm actually gonna go to the diner and eat some waffles real quick with my wife. I I do wanted to motivate you guys and let you know that whatever it is that you're listening from me, like I'm building the brand, like I'm talking about building a pet brand, right? If you're my audience and you really want to be involved, you could be involved in the process and doing the same exact thing, guys. Uh, so my Wi-Fi problem, that was actually me. I think my YouTube just froze up. So, but I am gonna jump in and get some food real quick. But I quickly wanted to let you know, guys, look, if you want to become the next wave of creators, observe how I'm creating the brand in real time and giving you like step-by-step processes of what's going behind the scenes. So this way you can jump onto this process, any of those processes, and start building your own brand or start helping my talent agency build my feudal kingdom. At this point, I have multiple feudal kingdoms. I have one for my talent agency and I have one for a pet brand. So guys, obviously it takes a little bit of time for you to get ahead. I'm gonna get going real quick, but I will create another workshop. But right now I'm gonna get some waffles real quick. I'll see you next time soon today.